The orbital checkpoint station floated high above Earth like a silent metal guardian. Every day thousands of travelers passed through its long halls, carrying stories from colonies, mining outposts, and distant space farms. For most people, it was just another part of life. A simple stop, a simple scan. Nothing special. For Security Officer Jaden Cross, tonight was supposed to be exactly the same: peaceful, boring, and routine. He stood at his inspection booth, watching the scanner lights blink a slow green rhythm. The air around him hummed with the familiar sound of energy coils. Jaden rubbed his eyes. It had been a long shift. He was already thinking about going home, drinking hot tea, and maybe sleeping for 12 hours straight. The line moved forward. People smiled. Children laughed. Everything was normal. Then she walked in. A young woman with soft steps and calm eyes. She looked human, perfectly human, but something about her made Jaden pay attention. She wore a simple gray travel coat, the kind used by colony workers. Her hands were folded politely. Her hair was tied back. There was no fear on her face. No stress. Just quiet serenity. "Next, please," Jaden said. The woman stepped forward and handed her ID card. Her voice was gentle. "Good evening, officer." Jaden scanned the card. Perfect. Clean. Valid. Everything correct. He nodded. "Please step into the bioscanner." She walked toward the tall white arch, where glowing rings floated around the frame. The rings slowly began to spin as she stepped inside. Jaden yawned, expecting another normal scan, but the scanner did not give the usual soft beep. Instead, boom. A loud alarm exploded through the room. The scanner lights flashed red, then purple, then a strange glowing white Jaden had never seen before. "What the—" he whispered. People in line froze. Some stepped back. A few gasped. Jaden looked at the screen beside him, expecting to see a glitch, but the image was not a glitch. The silhouette of the woman appeared on the monitor, and in the middle of her chest, something impossible was beating. A second shape, a second rhythm, a second heartbeat. Jaden stared. That can't be right. The scanner repeated the same warning. Unknown biosign detected. Unknown energy pattern detected. Guards from the nearby halls began to run toward Jaden's booth. The woman stepped out of the scanner calmly, as if nothing strange had happened. She looked at Jaden with soft, pleading eyes. "Please, do not report this." Jaden blinked. "I don't understand. What are you hiding?" Before she could answer, the scanner screen flickered. Strange symbols appeared, symbols no human language system could create. They moved like flowing light, alive and shifting. One guard shouted, "Step away from the traveler. She's carrying a parasite." Another guard yelled, "Call the military. This is alien contamination." Fear began spreading through the crowd. The woman closed her eyes for a moment. "I am not infected," she whispered. "And I am not dangerous." Jaden felt a strange calm wash over him when she spoke. It was like her voice carried warmth, something gentle, something safe. But the scanner continued flashing. The guards raised their weapons. "Ma'am, you are under immediate detainment." The woman lowered her head. "I knew this day would come." Jaden felt confusion twist inside him. Something was wrong. She didn't act like a threat. She didn't act like a criminal. She looked like someone carrying a heavy secret and a heavy fear. He typed a quick override, command to check the scan details. The display zoomed in on her chest. The second heartbeat was not flesh, not bone. It was light, a glowing sphere pulsing like a small star. Jaden felt his breath freeze. "What are you?" he whispered under his breath. The woman looked up at him. "Please trust me just a little. I cannot explain everything here. Too many ears." Too many eyes. The guards moved closer. Jaden stepped between them. Hold on. She's cooperating. Orders are orders, one guard snapped. She goes to the military lab. The woman's voice trembled for the first time. If they take me there, thousands may die. Jaden's heart pounded. He didn't know if she was lying. He didn't know if she was dangerous. But something in her eyes felt too real to ignore. She whispered again, voice soft and shaking. Officer Cross. Please. Before Jaden could respond, the entire station suddenly shuddered. BZZZT. The lights flickered. Then everything went dark. The scanners shut off. The doors locked. The air hummed with a strange energy. One that made everyone's hair stand on end. Emergency alarms. Failed to start. It was a blackout. A complete one. Jaden's communicator crackled with static. Voice whispered through the dark halls. We have found her. Begin extraction. Jaden turned quickly. Whoever said that was not from station security. The woman looked at Jaden, fear glowing in her eyes. This is only the beginning, she said. My truth is now exposed, and they are coming. Jaden swallowed hard. A simple, routine check had just become the most dangerous moment of his life. And nothing was going to stay normal anymore? She took a small breath and whispered, Officer, if you want to know what happens next, stay close. And tell your audience to support you too. Jaden blinked. My audience? She smiled gently. Yes. Tell them to subscribe. You will need them for this journey. The darkness inside the station felt heavy, almost alive. Only the emergency strips on the floor gave a faint blue glow, guiding people like lost shadows. Travelers whispered in fear. Guards pointed their weapons in every direction, unsure where the danger was coming from. Jaden stood frozen for a moment, staring at the woman whose secret had caused all this chaos. She looked calm, far too calm for someone surrounded by armed soldiers. Stay close, she whispered again. Jaden took a slow breath. Something inside him said she was not lying. Something inside him said she needed help. But helping her meant breaking every rule he knew. Before he could think further, a sudden metal clank echoed from the right hallway. The guards turned their weapons toward the sound. Who's there? One of them shouted. No answer. Another clank. Closer this time. Then a mechanical voice whispered from the ceiling, cold and emotionless. Target confirmed. Proceed with capture. The woman looked at Jaden with quiet desperation. They are not from your station, she said softly. They follow me. Jaden frowned. Who are they? Before she could answer, several dark shapes appeared at the end of the hall, tall figures wearing black armor that didn't belong to any known Earth military. Their helmets had red visors shaped like sharp blades, and their movements were too smooth, too precise, like machines mixed with humans. The station guards pointed their guns at them. Identify yourselves. The black-armored leader raised a hand, and then they simply vanished. 1 second they were standing. The next they dissolved into thin air like smoke blown by wind. What was that? One guard shouted. Suddenly, one of the black soldiers reappeared right behind the guard, grabbed his weapon, and knocked him unconscious in a single motion. Panic exploded. The travelers screamed. Warnings echoed through the corridor. More guards rushed in from different directions. But the black-armored team moved like ghosts. Silent, fast, precise. They were not here to kill. They were here to take. Jaden grabbed the woman's wrist. We need to move. She nodded. Quickly, before they trap us. She led him toward a maintenance door on the side wall. Jaden swiped his access card, and the door slid open with a sharp hiss. Inside, narrow metal tunnels spread like hidden veins of the station. Dim red lights flickered overhead. The air smelled of oil and burnt circuits. Jaden shut the door behind them, just as a loud bang echoed, someone trying to break in. "Who are they?" He hissed. "What do they want from you?" The woman looked down, her hands trembling slightly. "They are hunters," she said. "They work for a private corporation outside Earth law. They chase beings like me. They want to use what is inside me." Jaden swallowed. "The second heartbeat?" She nodded. He stared at her, unsure if he wanted to hear the truth. "What exactly is inside you?" he asked. She took a slow breath. "It is called an ether child." "A what?" "A being of pure energy," she said. "It is alive. It has thoughts. It sees things beyond human sight." "You mean it can tell the future?" She met his eyes. Small glimpses. Short visions, warnings, nothing more. Jaden felt cold air run down his spine. "And the corporation wants it?" "They want to turn it into a weapon," she whispered. Suddenly, a soft glow appeared on her chest. A pulsing white light, beating calmly. Jaden stared in shock as a small, gentle voice echoed quietly, not spoken through her mouth, but through the air around them. "Danger approaches." Jaden backed up, eyes wide. It talked. The woman placed a hand on her chest. "It only speaks when necessary." He wanted to ask more, but a heavy crash echoed from behind the maintenance door. "They found us," she said. "We must reach the cargo lifts." They ran through the narrow tunnel, metal clanking under their feet. Jaden guided her through the maze-like paths, using his security knowledge to avoid main corridors. But the black-armored soldiers appeared again, this time ahead of them. Jaden froze. "They cut us off." The leader stepped forward. His voice was deep and sharp. "Lyra of Colony 7, you are ordered to surrender the energy entity. Comply, and you will not be harmed." Lyra stepped behind Jaden. Jaden raised his hands. "She's not going anywhere with you." The leader tilted his head. "You are not authorized to interfere, Officer Cross." Jaden felt fear twist in his chest. These were not normal men. These were highly trained, enhanced soldiers who moved like shadows. But something in him refused to step aside. He whispered to Lyra, "Any ideas?" "Yes," she said. "Close your eyes." Jaden did. A soft hum filled the tunnel, low and warm like gentle wind. Suddenly, the lights exploded into bright white. A wave of blinding energy flashed across the hall. The black-armored soldiers stumbled, disoriented, their visors glitching with static. Jaden opened his eyes. Lyra's chest was glowing like a small star. The ether child's heartbeat pulsed fast, sending waves of shimmering light around them. "Run," she said. They sprinted past the blinded soldiers, turning sharply into a side tunnel. Behind them, the soldiers regained vision. "Target is escaping. Pursue." They shouted. Jaden, and Lyra ran faster, breath tight, adrenaline burning through them. They reached a vertical shaft that led directly to the cargo deck. Jaden climbed first, pulling himself up the ladder. Lyra followed, the faint glow from her chest lighting the dark shaft. Suddenly, the ether child whispered again, "He is in danger." Jaden froze. "Who? Me?" Before Lyra could answer, a heavy thud echoed below. The black-armored leader had entered the shaft. Their red visor glowed like fire, and he was climbing fast. The metal ladder rattled under Jaden's hands as he climbed. His breath came sharp and fast, echoing inside the narrow vertical shaft. Above him was the cargo deck, their only chance to escape. Below him was danger closing in, fast and silent. Lyra climbed just behind him, her breathing controlled, her eyes glowing faintly with the light of the ether child inside her. The faint heartbeat of the entity pulsed like a hidden drum in the darkness. Then, Clang. The sound came from below. Jaden risked a glance downward. The black-armored leader had entered the shaft. He wasn't climbing like a normal human. No. He was moving like a metal predator, gripping the ladder with one hand, leaping upward several rungs at a time, silent and efficient. Jaden's heart thudded painfully. He's catching up. Lyra's soft voice reached him. Do not look down. Keep climbing. Jaden gritted his teeth and pushed upward, but the leader moved too fast. He was barely 5 meters behind them now. Then a strange, soft whisper filled the air again, the ether child speaking through Lyra. Left. Danger above. What does that mean? Jaden breathed. Before Lyra could answer, a loud mechanical whine echoed from the top of the shaft. The hatch above them was sliding open. Someone was waiting on the other side. Jaden froze. They trapped us. No, Lyra whispered. Not yet. The hatch opened fully, revealing a soldier wearing the station's official uniform normal Earth security. Not the black-armored hunters. Officer Cross. The man shouted, "Jump now." Jaden blinked. What? No time. The guard yelled, "The hunters are inside the station. We need to seal this shaft." Lyra shook her head. He is not alone. Jaden looked again. The guard's hands were shaking. Too much. Not normal. Then Jaden's eyes widened in horror. Behind the guard, barely visible in the shadows, was the red visor of another black-armored soldier. He was hiding behind the guard, using him as bait. Jaden shouted, "Lyra, drop." Lyra let go first. Jaden followed. Both fell several meters down the shaft, the wind whistling past their faces. Jaden felt his stomach twist. If they hit the bottom, they would break bones. But at the last second, Lyra reached out. Her hand touched his sleeve. Whom? A soft wave of energy burst from her chest, cushioning their fall. They landed hard, but not deadly. Jaden gasped, rolling onto his side. Above them, the black-armored leader reached the rung where they had been. His voice was cold, persistent, but useless. He began climbing down toward them again. Jaden scrambled to his feet. We can't outrun him forever. Lyra nodded. We don't need to outrun him. We need to outthink him. She pointed to a small maintenance hatch, halfway down the shaft, a narrow, low tunnel. Go, she ordered. Jaden crawled into the tunnel first. Lyra closed behind. The metal walls were tight and rough. They moved on elbows and knees, hearts racing. Behind them, metal bent and groaned. The hunter was forcing himself into the tunnel. He's still coming. Jaden shouted. Lyra closed her eyes. The faint glow from her chest pulsed faster. The ether child whispered, 3 seconds. Move left. Jaden blinked. Move where? There's no left. But Lyra grabbed his shoulder and pushed him forward harder. The tunnel took a sharp turn, something Jaden hadn't seen in the dark. They narrowly avoided the hunter's armored hand, which slammed into the wall only inches behind them. Sparks flew. Jaden felt sweat drip down his neck. This is insane. But Lyra's voice was steady. Trust the ether child. It sees what we cannot. The tunnel opened into an old storage bay filled with dust, broken crates, and hanging wires. Jaden pulled himself out first and scanned the room. It's empty, he said. No, Lyra corrected softly. We are not alone. Jaden felt the hairs on his arms rise. What do you mean? A small drone behind them powered on with a thin metallic hum. A red dot locked on Jaden's chest. Oh no. Lyra pushed him behind a crate just as the drone fired a blast of blue energy. It hit the floor where Jaden had been standing, burning a deep scorch mark. More drones activated, their tiny engines whining like angry insects that the hunter must have sent them through. Ventilation. Jaden ducked behind another crate as a drone swooped past his head. "They're going to pin us down." Lyra placed a hand on her chest. "Ether child, help us." A soft, calm heartbeat echoed in the storage bay. Then darkness. All the drone lights blinked off. Every single one. The bay fell silent. Jaden whispered, "What did it do?" "The ether child," Lyra said, "can disrupt weak machines for a short time." "We need more than short," Jaden muttered. They hurried through the bay, climbing over crates and ducking under cables. At the far end was an old cargo platform. "If we reach the cargo tram," Jaden said, "we can get to the outer hangar." Lyra nodded. "Then go." Jaden activated the platform. It rose slowly, humming loudly. Too loudly. From behind them crack. The hunter tore open the maintenance tunnel, stepping into the bay like a metal giant rising from smoke. He looked at them. "End of pursuit," he said. Jaden's blood ran cold, but Lyra stepped forward, placing herself between Jaden and the hunter. The ether child glowed, brighter than before. Too bright. The hunter raised his weapon, but the ether child whispered, "Not yet. Wait." The cargo platform reached full height. Jaden grabbed Lyra's hand. "Jump!" he shouted. They both leaped as the platform shot forward along the track away from the hunter, away from danger, deeper into the massive station. Behind them. The hunter watched in silence. His visor glowed bright red. "The vessel will not escape," he said. The cargo platform sped through the dim transport tunnel like a metal bullet. Wind whipped through Jaden's hair, and the sound of clattering rails echoed in the long, curving shaft. Lyra held the side rail with one hand. Her other hand pressed against her glowing chest where the ether child pulsed steadily. Jaden glanced behind them. The tunnel was empty, at least for now. "I think we bought some time," he said, breathing hard. Lyra shook her head. "He will follow. He always follows." Jaden swallowed. "Who is he? Why does he want you so badly?" Lyra kept her eyes forward. "The hunters work for an off-world corporation called Axiom Division. They want the ether child because it is powerful and rare. Only a few exist." Jaden frowned. "How did it get inside you?" Her voice softened. "I saved it. Many years ago. My colony was attacked. The ether child had no host, and it would have died. So I allowed it to bond with me." "Bond?" "Yes," she said quietly. "Our lives became one. If I die, it dies too." Jaden felt a heavy weight settle on his chest. He looked at her differently, now not as a suspect or a mysterious woman, but as someone carrying a burden too big for any normal person. Before he could ask more, the platform began slowing down as it neared the end of the track. Ahead of them was a huge metal door leading into this station's outer hangar. Vast space used for cargo ships and emergency launches. The platform stopped with a sharp jolt. Jaden stepped off first and scanned the area. The hangar was strangely quiet. No workers. No ships moving. Only scattered crates, flickering ceiling lights, and the distant hum of machinery. "It's empty," he said. "That's not normal." Lyra walked beside him. "They evacuated this area because of the blackout." They headed deeper into the hangar. Rows of cargo ships sat dark and unused. Some were small shuttles. Others were huge haulers with thick armor plates. Jaden spotted a mid-sized transport vessel with open access doors. "We can take that one, if the systems still work." As they moved toward it, the ether child whispered softly, "Eyes watch." Jaden froze. "Someone's here." On instinct, he grabbed Lyra's arm and pulled her behind a stack of crates. They crouched down, staying low. A few seconds later, footsteps echoed through the hangar, slow, heavy, metallic. Not one pair, Jaden peeked around the crate. 3 black-armored hunters entered from the far door, their red visors glowing through the dim light. They scanned the hangar with machine-like precision. "They spread out," Lyra whispered. "They're blocking every exit." Jaden's pulse raced. How did they get here so fast? "They have technology your world has not seen," Lyra said. Jaden pulled out his station security tablet, hoping he could access old maintenance maps. The screen flickered, then died completely. "The blackout still affects everything," he muttered. Then, a loud metallic snap. Jaden turned. One of the hunters was scanning a shuttle with an energy scanner. Another patrolled the walkway above. The leader wasn't visible, but Jaden felt certain he was here somewhere. "We need a distraction," Jaden whispered. Lyra shook her head. "No, too risky. Then we need another exit." "The hangar only has 3, she said, "and all 3 are blocked." Jaden thought fast. "What about the emergency launch tunnel beneath the floor?" Lyra blinked. "You know about that?" "I'm security," he said. "We study every escape route." Lyra nodded. "Show me." They hurried to a metal grate on the far side of the hangar. Jaden knelt and pulled a hidden lever inside the wall. The floor section hissed and lifted halfway, a narrow shaft leading into a dark tunnel below. "This takes us to the emergency pod chamber," he said. "We can launch one and escape the station." Lyra placed a hand on his shoulder. "Good, but we must hurry." They climbed down the shaft, closing the grate silently above them. The tunnel below was cold and cramped, lit only by a few dead bulbs. Pipes lined the walls, dripping water. The air smelled of metal and dust. "This place hasn't been used in years," Jaden said. They moved quickly, their footsteps echoing, but halfway through the tunnel, the ether child spoke again. "He is near." Jaden looked back. "How near?" Lyra's face paled. "Too near." A low, metallic echo filled the tunnel. Clang, 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 Jaden, single quotes. Heart slammed against his ribs. The hunter was in the tunnel, coming toward them. Jaden grabbed Lyra's hand and ran. The tunnel suddenly opened into a wide chamber filled with dust-covered emergency pods. Small, old escape ships only big enough for 2 people. But something was wrong. One pod door was open, and inside was a station engineer, unconscious, lying on the floor. Jaden rushed forward. "He's alive." "But who?" He didn't finish the sentence, because behind the engineer was a message scratched into the metal wall. 4 words. "He knows your name." Jaden felt his entire body turn cold. How? How could he know my? He stopped. The metallic footsteps were close now, very close. Then, thunk. The hunter's massive silhouette appeared at the tunnel entrance. Blocking all light, his visor glowed bright red. "Jaden Cross," he said calmly. "You stand between Axiom Division and its property." Jaden stepped in front of Lyra, hands shaking but raised. "She's not your property." The hunter tilted his head. "Incorrect." Lyra placed a hand on Jaden's back. "Do not let him near me. If he touches me, the ether child will be taken." Jaden looked at her. "What do we do?" Lyra whispered. "We make a choice." The ether child's glow intensified. Jaden could feel heat against his spine. The hunter stepped forward. "Move," he ordered. Jaden did not move. Lyra whispered, "Ether child?" Now, the chamber filled with blinding white light. The ground began to shake. And the hunter finally paused. The transport ship moved quietly through the night sky as Commander Riven, Mara, Kale, and Lysa sat around a small metal table. The hum of the engines filled the silence. Everyone could feel the tension. Something important was coming, and they all knew it. Mara kept her hands folded tightly, her fingers shaking. She tried to breathe slowly, but her heart would not calm down. Part of her wanted to hide. Another part wanted answers. Riven watched her closely. "You are safe here?" he said softly. "No one can reach you without crossing me." Mara nodded, but she did not feel safe. Not fully. Not after what she had seen in the scanner. Not after what she had felt waking up on the hidden moon. She wanted to speak, but her voice still felt trapped. Kale leaned back in his chair. "Let's be clear," he said. "Someone went to a lot of trouble to keep Mara's truth hidden. That means she is important to someone. Maybe dangerous to someone else." Mara flinched. "I am not dangerous." Kale raised an eyebrow. "Everyone is dangerous to someone," he replied. "We just need to know to whom." Lysa placed a hand on Mara's arm. "We will find the truth together," she said kindly. "You are not alone." Mara breathed in deeply. She wanted to trust them. She needed to trust them. So she made a decision. She would tell them everything she could remember. I think I have memories," she said. "But they are strange. Like they don't belong to me. They come in flashes, like broken pieces. Sometimes I feel like someone else is inside me." Kale sat up straight. Riven's eyes sharpened. Lysa stopped moving. "Explain," Riven said calmly. Mara squeezed her eyes shut, searching inside her mind. "When the scanner exposed my DNA, I felt something wake up, like a voice inside me. But it wasn't a voice. More like a presence. Cold, but watching." Lysa's hand tightened slightly. "This could be trauma. You have been through a lot." "No," Mara whispered. "It feels older than me. And stronger." Riven leaned forward. "What does it say?" Mara opened her eyes. "Nothing. Not in words. But I feel it guiding me. Like it wants me to go somewhere. Like it knows what I am." Kale exhaled slowly. "This is bigger than we thought." Riven stood and turned on the ship's central display. Maps and star charts appeared, showing hundreds of territories and sectors. "There is only one species we know," Riven said, "whose genetic code can store a second consciousness. The Icorians. An ancient race lost thousands of years ago." Kale frowned. "You think Mara is one of them?" "That is impossible. The Icorians vanished before humans could even fly." Riven shook his head. "Not vanished. They hid. And they hid well." Mara felt her chest tighten. "If they hid, then why am I out here? Why am I with humans?" Riven looked at her carefully, as if choosing every word. "Because someone wanted you found, and someone else wanted you erased." The ship suddenly shook. A high-pitched alarm echoed through the walls. Red lights flashed. Kale jumped from his seat. "We're being targeted." Riven slammed the control panel. "Shields up. Lysa, take the scans." Mara grabbed the table, steadying herself as the ship jolted again. Lysa's voice was sharp. "Commander, 3 ships approaching fast. No beacon, no ID, no communication." Kale cursed. "That means only one thing, hunters." Mara's blood turned cold. Riven kept his voice steady, but the tension in his jaw showed the danger. They must have tracked the energy spike from the scanner station. Another violent shake. The lights flickered. Lysa shouted, "Direct hit on our rear shield." Kale slid into the weapon's seat. "Let me return the favor." Mara felt the presence inside her stir, like a sleeping animal opening one eye. It pushed against her mind, cold and ancient. "No," she whispered. "Not now." But the presence ignored her. The ship shook again. Kale fired back, blasting bright streams of energy into the darkness. One of the enemy ships spiraled away, smoking, but 2 remained. And they were fast. Riven spoke quickly. "We cannot outrun them." Kale focused fire on the left ship. Lysa, prepare for emergency descent. Descent? Kale shouted. There's a planet below us. A planet, Riven replied, is harder to shoot into than empty space. Mara's breath came out fast. She felt the presence growing stronger. It was looking through her eyes, feeling her fear, feeding on it. No, she said again, gripping her head. Stop, please stop. Riven saw her collapse and ran to her side. Mara, her vision blurred. She saw shapes, massive structures, glowing towers, shadows with silver skin, echoes, memories, knowledge that was not human. The presence inside her whispered without words. But she understood the meaning. Run. The hunters want what sleeps inside you. Do not let them take it. Mara opened her eyes, now glowing faintly with a soft blue shine. Riven froze. Mara, your eyes. Another explosion rocked the ship. Kale yelled, Commander, if we don't descend now, we're done. Riven looked at Mara, now trembling with power. She did not understand. Mara, he said urgently, can you hear me? She nodded slowly. I need you to try something. Can you reach the presence inside you? Mara swallowed. Yes, but I don't know what it wants. Riven pointed to the window, where the enemy ships locked onto them. Ask it for help. Mara closed her eyes, and the presence answered. The ship dropped into the atmosphere of the unknown planet, fire glowing outside the windows as they sped downward. Kale fought to steady the controls. Lysa read out warnings faster than the alarms could flash. Riven held onto the rail, trying to stay balanced, but everyone kept looking at Mara. She sat in her seat, breathing slowly, her eyes glowing faintly blue. The presence inside her felt awake, now not angry, not gentle, just aware. It watched the chaos around her with calm interest, as if danger meant nothing. Mara, Riven said, raising his voice above the alarms, if you can hear it, we need its help. Anything it can give. Mara nodded, though her hands trembled. I will try. She closed her eyes. The world around her fell away. She felt the presence like a deep ocean inside her mind, cold, wide, ancient. Help us. She whispered in her thoughts. At first, nothing happened. Then she heard something, not words, but meaning. Protect the vessel. Protect the bloodline. Mara gasped as power surged through her veins. She felt her skin warm, her heartbeat slow, her senses sharpened. And then it happened. A blue energy pulse burst from her body, invisible to human eyes, but bright to the strange attackers. Outside, the two hunter ships wavered, their engines flickering. Kale looked at the radar and shouted, Commander, their targeting is failing. Something is scrambling them. Riven looked at Mara. She's doing it. Lysa whispered, This is not possible. The hunter ships broke formation, spinning off course. But even as they fell back, one of them steadied and fired a final blast. A burning shot of energy struck the transport ship, shaking it violently. Kale yelled, We lost the right stabilizer. We're going down. The ship nosedived toward a forest of giant red-leafed trees. Riven grabbed the emergency controls and shouted, Race for impact! The ship crashed through the canopy, ripping branches and kicking up dirt. With a final heavy crash, it skidded across the ground and came to a shaking stop. Silence. Dust floated in the air. Smoke drifted from the engines. Kale coughed, pushing open his seat's harness. Everyone alive? 1 second? Lysa said weakly, Yes. I think so. Riven checked his arm, which was bleeding slightly. I'm fine. Then they all turned to Mara. She sat still, her eyes dim again. The glow was gone. The power had vanished. Riven kneeled beside her. Mara, are you okay? She looked at him with fear in her eyes. That wasn't me. I didn't control it. It controlled me. Before Riven could reply, they heard a low hum outside. Cale grabbed his rifle. "We're not alone." Riven stood quickly. "Stay alert." The group stepped out of the wrecked ship. The forest around them was strange tall crimson trees, glowing plants, soft mist. But what caught their attention was the ship that had landed not far away. Not the hunters. Something else. A small, black craft with symbols glowing on its hull. It didn't look human, and it didn't look like the hunters' ships either. A hatch opened. Mara stepped back. Heart-pounding. A tall, masked figure walked out. Smooth silver armor covered its body. The mask had no eyes, no mouth, just a single glowing line running across it. Riven raised his weapon. "Identify yourself." The figure did not lift its hands. Its voice came out distorted, calm, cold. "You are protecting the wrong girl." Riven stiffened. "Who are you?" The figure tilted its head slightly. "A warning. Nothing more." Cale scoffed. "You crash us out of the sky just for a warning?" The figure ignored him. Its mask turned toward Mara. "She is not what you think. She is not your responsibility. She is not even yours to save." Mara felt the presence inside her stir again, but weakly, as if tired. Lysa stepped closer to Mara protectively. "Who does she belong to?" The figure's answer was slow and heavy. "She belongs to a people that should have died long ago. A people who should never return." Mara froze. "You know what I am?" The masked figure nodded. "You carry an Icorian seed. A memory, a code." Riven frowned. "A code for what?" The figure slowly raised one hand and pointed at Mara. Its voice deepened. "For a weapon. A weapon strong enough to destroy worlds." Mara stepped back, shaking her head. No, that's not true." The figure continued, emotionless. "The hunters want the weapon. Others want to hide it. But none of them understand." Riven tightened his grip on his weapon. "Understand what?" The figure's mask glowed brighter. "That the weapon is waking." Mara felt a sharp pain shoot through her skull. She fell to her knees, grabbing her head. Riven rushed to her. "Mara!" The presence inside her pulsed stronger than ever. Lysa shouted, "She's losing control." The masked figure turned away, as if the scene did not bother it. "This world will not survive her awakening. Leave her here, or die with her." And with that, the figure walked back to its ship. The hatch closed. The craft lifted and disappeared into the mist. Riven. Lysa and Cale stayed frozen for several seconds. Stunned. Mara looked up, her eyes glowing blue again, but brighter. Stronger, almost burning. "Riven?" She whispered. "I can't stop it." Riven grabbed her shoulders. "We won't leave you. We stay together." But the ground beneath them began to shake. The weapon inside. Mara had begun to wake. The ground trembled beneath Mara as she kneeled on the strange forest floor. Glowing blue light flickering under her skin like lightning. The presence inside her was no longer a whisper. It had become a storm. Riven, Lysa, and Cale surrounded her, unsure what to do, unable to help. But refusing to step away, Riven held her shoulders tight. "Mara, listen to my voice. Stay with us. You are stronger than whatever is inside you." But she shook her head, trembling. "No, I'm not. It's too strong now. It wants to take over." A loud rumble shook the forest again. Birds scattered from the trees, and strange glowing insects rose into the air, sensing danger. The red leaves shivered even without wind. Cale looked around nervously. "Commander, if that thing inside her wakes fully, this whole planet might explode, or worse." Lysa touched Mara's face gently. "Fight it. You are still you." Mara wanted to believe that. She wanted to hold on to her identity, her memories, her feelings, her new friends. But the presence inside her pushed harder with each second. Suddenly, she saw visions, bright, sharp, powerful, tall silver towers, a sky full of blue, rings of energy, millions of beings with glowing eyes, and then fire.war, destruction by their own hands. A whisper filled her head. We ended our world. Now you will end theirs. Mara screamed, her back arching as a wave of energy burst from her body. Blue flames sparked around her, scorching the ground. Riven was thrown back, but got up immediately. Lysa shielded her face from the energy. Kale aimed his rifle, but didn't fire. "Commander," he shouted, "if she loses control, we might need to." Riven glared at him. "Don't even say it." Kale swallowed his words. Mara stood slowly, glowing brighter. Her voice echoed unnaturally. "It's taking over? I'm becoming something else." Riven took a step toward her, even as the air vibrated with danger. "No, you are Mara, and you are not alone. We're here." The presence inside her answered with a sharp burst of power that knocked him down again. Then an unfamiliar voice filled Mara's mind calm. Ancient, almost sorrowful. "Child, you are never meant to awaken." Mara gasped. The presence wasn't a monster. It was a memory. A consciousness left behind by the last Icorians before they destroyed themselves. She spoke aloud, trembling. "Why did you choose me?" "Because you were dying," the presence said. "Your human body was failing. We saved you. We preserved you. Not to use you, but to live again through you." Mara felt tears fall. "Live again? By taking my life, my mind?" The presence hesitated. "Yes." Kale stepped beside Riven. "This is getting out of control. We need to stop whatever is inside her before it burns the planet down." Lysa pointed at the glowing ground. "Commander, look." The dirt cracked open, glowing blue veins spreading outward like roots of energy. Every tree around them pulsed with unnatural light. The awakening had begun. Mara looked at Riven with fear. "I don't want to hurt anyone, please. Help me." Riven took a deep breath and approached her slowly, even while the energy crackled dangerously around her. "Listen to me. You have a choice. Not the presence. Not your past. You?" Mara trembled. "I can't control it." Riven shook his head. "You don't have to control all of it. Just enough to choose." The presence roared inside her mind. "You are our last echo. You must awaken. You must rebuild us." Mara screamed again as blue light erupted from her eyes. Kale raised his weapon. "Commander, if you don't stop her now, put IT down." Riven shouted, louder than the shaking earth. Kale froze, his finger trembling near the trigger. Lysa grabbed his arm. "Trust her, please." Mara fell to her knees again as the presence surged. Her voice cracked. "Riven, if I let go, everything dies." Riven kneeled in front of her, ignoring the burning heat around her. "Then don't let go. Fight. You are more than the seed. You are more than their memory. You are Mara, and we believe in you." The presence screamed, "We are Icorian. We are forever." But Mara pushed back, through tears and pain. "No, I am Mara." A violent burst of blue light exploded upward like a pillar. The forest shook. Trees bent away. Rocks lifted from the ground. Then everything went silent. The blue light dimmed. The glowing cracks stopped spreading. Mara collapsed into Riven's arms. Exhausted, shaking, but alive. Kale dropped his rifle in relief. "Is it over?" Lysa scanned Mara with her device. "The energy. It's fading. The presence is almost gone." Mara opened her eyes weakly. "I didn't destroy it. I put it to sleep. Deep inside. Maybe forever." Riven held her tightly. "You did it?" You saved yourself. You saved all of us. Mara gave a weak smile. I'm not a weapon. I'm just me. Lessa touched her shoulder. And we will help you stay you, no matter what. Kale sighed. What about the hunters? The masked one? They won't stop after this. Riven looked at the sky. Then we will face them, together. Mara stood slowly, still weak, but standing on her own. Whatever comes next, I'm ready. Riven smiled. Good, because this was only the beginning. The camera would fade out here, leaving the viewers with chills, curiosity, and the promise of a much bigger universe beyond this one story.